Hello, thank you so much for checking out my video. Today I'm going to be sharing my weekly planning routine as a college student who also works part-time. My semester started this week and I'm already very overwhelmed with everything, so I really need to get organized. I usually do an in-depth planning session like the one I'm going to share today every week on around Thursday or Friday so that I can prep for the weekend's work and also get a sense of what I need to prepare for the upcoming week. I personally prefer a paper planner, as you can see here, to a digital one, but you can absolutely apply what I share today to other planning systems that you use. So let's get started. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is list out everything that I'm going to be doing this semester. And this includes all my classes, my work, clubs, meetings for other projects. You don't need to list out, specifics for everything, just what they are so that we can reference it again later. This semester I'm taking 4 different classes, as well as working part-time 2 days a week. And then I am also a officer in one of the clubs that I'm a part of, so that definitely is very time consuming with all of the meetings and tasks that I have to take care of for my team. And then I also have an independent study project, which I'll be meeting with my advisor as well as my research group a couple times over the semester. And finally, this manuscript project is a project that I've been working on for many, many months now, but right now it's on hold for a little bit because the semester has begun, but I did want to include it on this list just in case any weeks I do have to do some tasks for it. But this is my current list. Now that I have a better sense of everything that I'm going to be doing this semester, I'm going to make a digital overview of my schedule on a typical week of spring semester, so excluding any holidays and special days off or schedule changes. I prefer to do this digitally because I can easily export my finished schedule as a photo and save it on my computer, on my phone, so that I can access it at all times. And I also really like the design of it. I use Corsical and I'm going to insert my tutorial right now. Like I mentioned, I really like to use Corsical.com to create my digital schedule. So once I go to that website, I just scroll down to the Plan Your Schedule section and click on Use Our Schedule Maker. And once I click on that, I will be directed to this screen, which has a blank schedule here. On the upper left, there are multiple options. You can obviously create a schedule, rename it, as well as duplicate it if you'd like to make different versions of your schedule. And then you can also export it, which I'll show you later on. So to actually build your schedule is very, very simple. All you have to do to add a class is to click the blue button up here. When you click on it, you have the option of writing the course name, indicating when the course meets. They have some default options there, and if it doesn't work for you, you can definitely use custom days and select more than 2 or certain dates that aren't shown there. And then you can indicate the start and end time for your class, as well as add another time if, for example, your class meets multiple times a week at different times. And then you can include your location, such as the classroom, the professor that teaches it, as well as any notes that you'd like. And here I'm just putting in a made-up class to show an example. So Chemistry 101, let's say it meets Mondays and Wednesdays from 9 to 10:15. I select the color and then I can add the class. And this will automatically be added to my schedule, and if I want to add a new class, all I have to do is click Add New Class again, and then all the classes will automatically populate. I'm just going to show you, for the sake of time, the schedule that I already created. So this is my personal schedule. I also like to include commute time just because it impacts my availability quite a bit. So after that, I will click Export and I can save it as an image. Here is my finished schedule. I personally love the simplicity of this and how easy it is to see my availability at a glance. If you're part of any commitment that requires occasional meetings or meetups, this is so handy because you're likely going to have to share your availability on a week, a typical week, or certain days of the week, and this way you always have this handy. As you can see, I also include my commute in my schedule overview so that I'm careful not to schedule any meetings or important events during that time because I obviously cannot hop on a call if I am commuting to class. The first two tips that I shared are definitely for the first week of the semester when I'm still getting used to my schedule and all of my courses, but tip number 3 is part of my weekly planning routine. Essentially, what I do is I reference the commitment list that I drafted earlier, and I go through each one to list out all the assignments and upcoming deadlines that I should be aware of for the coming week. I also list out any upcoming exams that I see on my syllabus for each class and any events for the week. I essentially create one big master to-do list so that delegating the tasks later on when I plan is much easier. I wanted to bring out all of the planners that I've had during college just to show you my current planning system. So this is my planner for this semester, 2021 to 2022, and I prefer getting academic planners so that way I can keep all of the work that I did in one school year in one planner. This is my freshman year planner, this is my sophomore year planner, and then this is my junior year planner. And I love having all of those separated in that way, and it just makes a lot more sense. That way you don't go halfway into a school year and you have to switch your planner. I just find that this is a lot better. So this is my current junior year planner. I really do like it so far. As you can see, it's not the best quality though, because I usually have my planner open fully, so it is a little bit scratched up on the front, but I think it's super pretty nonetheless. I did purchase this on Amazon, so I'll try to leave the link below as well. This one does have an elastic, which I think is nice, so it keeps all the pages neatly together, and it is also coil bound, just like my other planners. Let me show you a typical week in this planner. So here is one of my weeks in the fall semester. My style has stayed pretty consistent because I found a system that works for me and keeps me productive and on track. Events and classes on the left and a to-do list on the right side. Now I'm going to get started and actually plan for the week ahead. The first thing that I do is separate my day into 2 sections. So I usually use a ruler to do this so that it's nice and neat. Now I'm going to go through the master to-do list that I created on my notes app and start delegating tasks throughout this week, as well as marking any big events, work, as well as classes. pretty much wraps up my weekly planning routine. I really hope that this was helpful to at least one person out there who happens to click on this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful semester.